What's up, guys? My name is Josh. I hope you're having a great day today. Hope everything works out for you. I'm just going to be talking to you for like 30 minutes. Fun conversation. Um, Man, I remember when I was a kid, this music was everything. I don't know if you guys have early memories of playing Super Mario 64, but I definitely do. I remember going to a place called Gumball Alley, which was a place that cut my hair when I was really young, and that's where I first played Super Mario 64. I remember getting a lollipop and having the time of my life. I remember the controller was slightly sticky from other people probably handling lollipops and then handling the controller. But yeah, I remember playing this game and Super Mario Sunshine when I was a kid. I never owned either of them, but I have distinct memories of just playing with them. So yeah, tell me your memories down below of Super Mario 64 or just video games in general. Another video game memory I have is when I got Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2. I remember coming home and playing it in my living room, and it was just so much fun. I remember being in the, if you guys remember, what was it called? East District, was it 139, or I forget the exact number, but it was in Dragon Ball, and something about the coziness of the music of that area near Goku's house mixed with the coziness of my own family room was quite a vibe. I remember beating on those snakes and those early enemies, just playing in about, the lighting that would be like 3 p.m. in a living room in like a Y2K house. That's quite a vibe. I remember also I got so stuck on the part when you're in the northern mountains in that game, so I had to ask one of my neighbors, and he finally did it for me because I was so stuck. And then I remember I was also stuck on this other part. I don't remember exactly. I think it was the egg carrying mission, and I think I played baseball when I was a kid, and someone on my baseball team helped me at that. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I also have really distinct memories of getting Pokemon Sapphire when I was a kid. I like Pokemon Ruby now. I'd say that's probably my favorite, but when I was a kid I got Sapphire. I don't know why I got Sapphire. When I was a kid I just kind of did dumb stuff like, oh, get the one you don't really want, or maybe it was out of stock, but it was kind of like a mental thing. I know it's kind of hard to understand or explain, but when I was a kid, for some reason, I wouldn't do exactly what I wanted to do. I would do like the second best option. So I had a hard time putting myself first, but I feel like that prepared me for stuff later in life. I know you're like, what does that have to do with Pokemon? And maybe I'll explain that idea more later, but in reality, I wanted Pokemon Ruby, but for some reason I got Pokemon Sapphire. I don't remember exactly why. Anyways, getting that game was sick. I remember I went to Old Navy right after getting that game when I was a kid in the summer, and just the smell of the shoes, like, the shoe smell, the rubber shoe smell of Old Navy, yeah, that mixed with Pokemon Sapphire, started off with Torchic, that was a vibe. Other video game memories, I've had so many. The DS Lite, or the original DS actually, I remember I got it for Christmas, 2004 or something, and that was sick. I remember I got Mario 64 for the DS, which was my first time owning it and playing through. And I got that Metroid Prime kind of demo version. I don't know if you guys remember that. I definitely remember that. And the Fat DS was sick. I remember, I believe that Christmas, it was actually so hot in California, I was able to wear shorts for Christmas. Cali weather's weird like that, man. But, yeah. I remember having the DS Lite a few years later, playing Cooking Mama. A bunch of fun games on that. I remember I played Pokemon Pearl. Man, I would just beat the Elite Four over and over again. That's how I got my Palkia almost up to level 100. Yep. So, video game memories are really cool to me. Early 2000s memories. Being a child in 2003 was amazing. I'll never forget it. And one day I'd like to open a store or do something with the name just 2003, because it just meant so much to me, man. And one day I'd like to fully explain it. I feel like the ways to explain it come into me in bits and pieces, and then I can relay that information to you. But yeah, 2003 was amazing. I remember Hot Pockets, or sorry, not Hot Pockets, Smuckers. They had a grilled cheese Smuckers. I don't know if you guys remember that, like those sandwiches in the fridge. Those were delicious. I remember like the Trix yogurt with the flavor crystals; those were sick. I remember like vanilla Pepsi. That was like one of my first sodas. That was so delicious. Love it, man. Toys R Us was the best. Like, I wish that I could still go to Toys R Us nowadays. Toys R Us is just memories and vibes to me. I've gotten so much stuff there. I remember I got my first GBA SP, and I was such a dumb kid. Listen to this, you guys. I traded my GBA SP for a, like, you know how those, like, game stores would sometimes rip you off and give you way less than it was worth? They gave me the equivalent for my GBA SP of one DS game. And then I believe I went to, like, a county fair, like in Ventura or something, that same day, and I lost the game. Can you believe that? I lost the game right then and there. So that was just like a horrible day for me, but it's funny. But yeah, dude. I've always loved food related. Always loved Olive Garden ever since I was a little kid. Breadsticks and chicken parm, they're the best. I always loved martial arts too ever since I was young. Like Taekwondo. And then my school started to do more wrestling and stuff, and I just liked the kicking, so that's what I did. Look at this guy. This is Salamence. Aren't those Tomy figures just beautiful? And this guy right here. This is my little Cubone with a western hat. I think that hat just fits on him splendidly, mate. This is, if you guys remember from Bionicle, this is like the Mask of Light. And for some reason, I put it on the body of this crocodile. Just looks like some funny Egyptian thing. I've always been into like ancient Egypt sort of stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever found an interest in anything ancient Egyptian. Whoa. But yeah, just want to show you some toys there. I want to get a GameCube. I've never played GameCube. I think I told you yesterday about my GameCube story. I also want to get a, maybe a new DS Lite, because mine's a little gross looking, but it's not a big priority. I really want to get a GameCube. That would be the next system. And I kind of want to get a Switch 2 also. There's so many video games to play, man. What are some things that you guys remember about the early 2000s? Just school related, I remember Halloween was so much fun, and Christmas. Early 2000s were like the best time to be a kid, man. Just being an early 2000s kid makes you feel something. When I was an early 2000s kid, I remember my first day of school was so special. I remember I didn't really know anyone. Mitchell was my friend. Mitchell was a cool guy. And yeah, I remember one of my friends named Jake. He gave me a fortune teller at recess, and I remember I could go like this. You know those like little paper fortune tellers? I don't know where he got it, but he got a Pokemon edition fortune teller, and he folded it for me, and that was just so cool of him. Like that was such a nice thing for him to do. Tetherball was super fun in the early 2000s. Handball. Foursquare. If you guys know, you know. At my school, there was this system that if you helped out the yard duties, which are like the old women who kind of like patrolled, you know, the school during recess and lunch, if you helped them out, like helped them put away the equipment like the handballs and stuff, you would be given one of these little cards. It was called a Mickey Mouse #1 kid card, right? And you got them, you saved up a certain number, then what was it, 5 or 10, I don't remember, and you would get an ice cream. And I remember in my pencil box, and all the kids in my classes, we all had our pencil boxes full of these little laminated cards that had Mickey Mouse in different positions, in different vibrant colors, and that was just such a memory. I remember getting that ice cream on a hot day, and you know, it was really cool. And you know, the ice cream wasn't even the point of it. For me, it was just kind of novel to collect those little little cards like you're playing Monopoly in real life. It was just fun. There's just some cute little details about life from the early 2000s that I really appreciate. Life definitely got harder after the 2000s, but I feel like that era set me up to see life in a real fun way. My mom made it really special for me, and I feel like I personally just have that attention to detail. Like, I pay attention to the small things in life, so all that stuff really made a difference to me. I loved Wendy's when I was a kid. Wendy's was awesome, getting the Frosties with those yellow cups, if you can remember that. And then going to see Christmas lights if it was in the wintertime, or going to the park if it was in the summertime. I never got into skateboarding. I tried to. A little too hard, a little too dangerous. But skateboarding was awesome. I remember all the cool shoes, DCs. I wish I remembered DVS, that shoe brand. They had really thick shoes. But dude, they do not make my size. I wear like a size 16 because I'm tall, whatever. So I always had big feet. Yeah, that's why I like to kick. But yeah, dude, I love soda. I've been making my own soda. When I was a kid, you drink the sugary stuff, but now make my own with a soda stream and put the little pumps of Mio. They're like orange and pink lemonade. If you guys know, you know. I don't know about you, but when I listen to one song over and over again, it like helps you meditate and just kind of flow. So I'm really glad I have this little bit of Mario song to just vibe to with you guys. I'm trying to make longer videos because I feel like they do better, and I feel like I have that kind of brain where I like to talk for long periods. I'm not good with like short little ones. I like long kind of talks. So we'll talk for like 20 minutes. I'm going to try to go, up to like 20, 15 minutes. Try to go for 20. Like I did the 1 hour kickboxing, and I did like, I forget if it was 20 minutes or 15 minutes yesterday of the walking. Yeah, so I'm just going to try to keep it up. Exercise has always been really important to me. I've never been great at it, but recently I've really been trying to get into it and do something I enjoy, which is like kickboxing. You guys just need to find some sort of exercise that makes you happy when you do it. It's rare to find, but I found mine and I'm glad I did.